Using comparative charts, point 7, comparing your product area with your competitors. So the aim of this lecture and this part of the brief is to understand the importance of comparative shopping, or what we've been referring to as comp shopping, to monitor what brands and retailers are up to and to review their offerings. So as part of the shop report, you're constantly trying to analyse the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats of your brand and retailer against its competitors. Constantly monitoring the people, the product, the price and the place. So what is comp shopping? So comparative shopping is a form of primary research. They are typically carried out by visiting stores and looking directly at products. However, a lot of comp shopping can be done online too. During the process, you analyse what your competitors are doing in terms of product offerings and their marketing message. And this is for point 7. So we're looking at like-for-like product comparison here. The like-for-like or LFL product comparison is a more detailed investigation into a specific product. So you've all chosen specific products to look at for this report. So like-for-like comparisons are typically carried out to compare core and fashion items from your competitor brands, or in this instance, the two retailers you identified in your price style matrix in point 2. You should be looking at similar items your competitors are selling and comparing them for the different price points, the different colours and options that they do, their size, range and spread, the fabrics they make the product from, and the country of origin, the place that they get the product made. It's important that retailers have the right balance of product within their ranges, and typically we refer to this with the fashion triangle. So in the top smallest segment of the triangle is usually what retailers reserve as their directional, their trend-led pieces that will just be in fashion for a short amount of time and won't necessarily be repeated. The middle segment, which is usually typically around 30% of the product mix, is their fashion, the more staple items. And then 60%, the biggest chunk of their mix, is usually their basic items. And we refer to this as good, better and best. So the good product, the better and the kind of best product, and pricing reflects this as well. So there are different types of fashion triangles. The one we've just looked at, which is quite typical, where most retailers will have a good mix of basics, smaller amount of fashion and a smaller amount then of directional. Some retailers though also have the diamond or prism, where they have mostly fashion with a small amount of directional and basics. And some have the inverted triangle, where the predominant part is directional, some fashion and a few basics. That'd probably be more kind of luxury brands. So the core and fashion items make up 90% of a retailer's mix. They're sort of what we call the bread and butter, what really makes the most money for their retailers. They're items that rarely go into sale, as they are considered consistent pieces throughout the year, and customers will always typically buy from these pieces. Therefore, they can buy bigger volume, and bigger volume means they can make a higher profit margin and more profit for the business overall. So as aspiring buyers and merchandisers, your job is about targeting the right people with the right product at the right price in the right place. So those are the 4 P's of marketing. This is essential to survival and success of your brand or retailer. If you don't keep up to date with your competitors, then you won't survive in the market. So for point 7, we're asking you to do a comparative chart using a combination of desk research, where you just start to research the product online, and active research when you actually go out and look at the product in store. Research, look at your chosen product category, for example, women's wear dresses, and compare core and fashion items in that category in your chosen brand and retailer against its 2 closest competitors that you identified back in point 2. And remember, you're comparing them for price, colour options, size, spread, fabrics and country of origins where they're made. So once you've done that, the biggest mistake students do here is just doing the comparative chart then leaving it. You must analyse your findings in 3 to 6 bullet points as recommended here. So let's look more at what we call a core or fashion item. So if I'm looking at H&M, and I might be looking at women's wear dresses, a basic dress would be this simple black bodycon dress. It's also retailed at a cheap and affordable price at $8.99. The fashion product has slightly more detailing, it's slightly more up-spec'd, it's made of a higher quality fabric, and you can see there that it retails at a higher price. You can also see that both of these options come in 2 colourways as well. So again, what I would want to do then is identify my 2 competitors against H&M, which here I've found are Mango and Zara, which are from my point 2 price style matrix. And then I go on to make my comparative chart. So I make one of these for my core styles and one for my fashion. So here I am. So I've got my H&M, which is my brand, on the top of each one. On the core styles at the top, I've compared it with Zara and Mango and a similar dress. So I've looked at similar black simple dresses for them, and then I've filled in all the corresponding information here. Then for the fashion styles, the bottom one, the slightly more up-spec, I've also looked at my competitors and looked at more up-spec dresses here as well, looking at all the price points, the different colourways, the size spread, the material they're made from, and more importantly, where they're made. So you can download the template for the grid on Canvas. Identify your two competitors. We did this in week 1 for point 2. Find free core and free fashion product online first. Do this for your store and your two competitors. Fill in the first few rows of the chart. We then want you to go out and visit the stores and also come up with more analysis here. So you're filling in all of those, making sure that they're the right the right product. Are the styles right? Are they competitive enough? Are they offering something different enough to their other retailers here? Is the price referring to their point on the price style matrix? So for H&M, I would expect them to be slightly cheaper than Zara, and in this instance, they are, and Mango's even higher, which is exactly where I'd expect them to be. So they're being competitive against their two competitive retailers here. There's a good spread of colours here. A good spread of sizes here in comparison to their competitors. Maybe Zara's got a slight more advantage here because theirs come in small, medium and large, which means they don't have the risk of buying a larger amount of styles. The fabric, again, it's good quality fabric, and it is representative of the price. And there's a good mix of countries of origins here. So again, you want to do your charts, but make sure you're doing some analysis here as well. Other things that you could look at here, if yours is too similar or offering too similar a product at too similar price, at too similar colours, there could be that risk of brand cannibalisation when too many brands are offering the same thing at the same price. If that's not happening, then that's great. When you're visiting the store, think about any issues there might be with the quality of the products. Look at the stitching, the quality of the overlocking, the quality of the fabrics, and comment on this. Does the price justify the style, quality and material? Are the differences between the core and fashion items big enough for each brand? Are the brands bringing in different customers? Are they appealing to different customers? And you're constantly trying to work towards what the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats for your brand are. Again, if they're doing well, that's fantastic and everything works well. If you're thinking there's anything to criticise or to be cautious of, you should note that down as well. And here's an example of a student before. So they've got they've done weekday and they've compared it against ASOS and Zara, and they've made some good annotation there on the right. And they've done the same here for the fashion example as well. So you're constantly thinking now towards that, when your final point, your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, and you should be analysing each of your points alluding to those ideas. So you should get this completed in your self-directed study.